Blog Talk Radio.
The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. 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 Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show.
A lot of great fun. If you want to go ahead and join in this fun, you're always welcome here at the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Feel free to call in live, 516-418-5572. Then that's 516-418-5572. So we're going to go ahead and definitely have a wonderful, wonderful night, wonderful show. But first, we got to kick off the show with thanking one of our outstanding sponsors, and that's none other than thank you to Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Feel free to visit my great friend Chef G's right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, that's quite all right, because you're in luck. You can go ahead and visit Chef G's right here at FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Don't forget that delicious, delectable sauce. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and thank, right off the crack of the bat, our songwriter, Scola Songs, and his wife, Mary. All of the music you're going to hear here tonight is sang by none other than Sam Scola Songs. Right there, if you want to reach out to Sam Scola Songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. And if you really enjoy this great tunes, feel free to reach out to Sam at singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Definitely, let's go ahead and play that Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song right now. We're going to kick the show off officially once we go ahead and play this song. And definitely, don't forget that great sauce. So here is the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song, sang by Sam Scola Songs.
Counting for variety, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs, tasty fusion on pork and sausage, a classic taste for chicken steak tips, a hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Don't forget to visit Chef G's at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida, or at flbbqsauce.com. And it's flbbqsauce.com. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get the show started. We got a great call on the line right away. Let's bring them on. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Alan. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Alan, were you on my show last week or no?
I unfortunately wasn't on the show last week. I had somebody come over to the house, and unfortunately, because of that reason,
you didn't hear what happened. Of course.
No,
I couldn't make your show last week because we had a situation here, and my father had passed away the day before, so I couldn't get to the show last week. Because my sister's making arrangements and whatever. And I just couldn't make it back in time.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Definitely my prayers and condolences go out to you and your family. So I'm really, really sorry to hear that, the loss of your father there. My prayers and condolences go out to you and your family. I did not hear that news. I'm sorry. I know Diane called in last Friday, and I was so glad to hear from you. And I noticed you wasn't there. I thought he was going to call in later, but I understand. Definitely, I'm so sorry to hear that. So how are you holding up?
Oh, we're okay now. Everything was done on Tuesday, so we're getting back to normal.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I know how it feels to unfortunately lose your father. May your father rest in peace, and my father rest in peace too. It's never easy. The only thing I could suggest and things like that is what helped me was time. That's really the only thing that really helped me was just time. You have to find time to heal and just always appreciate the fact that you had your dad as long as you did, because not everybody in this day and age gets to enjoy a relationship with their dad. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way the situation is. That's kind of what motivates me to be a foster parent and an adoptive parent, because that relationship between father and son, I feel that, and daughter and father too, I feel everybody should have that relationship in a positive way. I feel as if everybody should have that, know how that relationship is, and really cherish that relationship, because that's something special.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, but definitely, I'm glad you told me. I did not know this. This is a shock.
I thought maybe Diane might have said something too. So
tell us a little bit about your father. Tell us a little about the way he was.
Hated the Cowboys. Yankee fan, sort of. He was more of a Raiders fan. Ugh. Oh well. Yuck. So tough football season. It was a little testy, but you get the idea. We always traded notes after the games and whatnot, even before the games. And he's like, "You got to be kidding. Would I lie?"
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah. But we're okay now. We had a celebration on Tuesday, and we had, a lot of people. That's what Dad would want.
Okay.
And I did do my show last week, actually. I did do it.
Okay.
That's
definitely
what he
call in. I'm sorry, say again?
That's what he would want me to do.
Yeah, my dad would be the same way. Just kind of like,
Well, good.
at least that's great that I've had some great people in my life, and my dad would want the same for me to continue forward. He wouldn't want me sitting around moping, you know.
Yeah. Okay, on to other stuff now. Well, I think Zachy Boy's days of the Jets are over.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Yeah.
great news is this. The Rangers are in the playoffs, and I promised one of my good friends, Rob Simpson, that I was going to talk about the hockey. I'm going to actually, it came up at a good point. I know you love the Rangers, and they're in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. So what do you think your chances are?
Okay, that's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Okay, it's good that they're number one, and all the predictions are on everything, but we always have to be aware of one thing in particular.
What's that?
And hockey fans know this as well as I do, because you also know what this also could mean, right?
What's that?
The curse of the President's Trophy jinx.
Okay. Wow. I'm going to try to...
It is very common for a team that wins the President's Trophy not to go all the way and win the Stanley Cup. It's very rare that happens. I mean, when the Rangers did in 2015, they lost in the second round. They won the President's Trophy in 2015, and, they didn't have a good second round. That was that. The last time they actually did that was back in 1994 when they did win the President's Trophy, even though despite the fact that Mike Gartner was gone. They still won it. So it is very rare for that to happen. Usually it goes like a third seed or maybe like a second seed. When they did win the President's Trophy, even though despite the fact that Mike Gartner was gone.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's one thing that you got to be a little bit leery of is the fact that they are the one seed.
Why do they have so much trouble winning the conference, the cup when they win the
you're right. I mean, that's one thing that you got to be a little bit leery of is the fact that they are the one seed.
Why do they have so much trouble winning the conference, the cup when they win the
you're right. I mean, so you're right. You're right about that. Let me just update this here. But they're the number one seed, and they actually, one thing about the New York Rangers is that they at least recently, once they get into the playoffs, it seemed like things change for them.
Yeah, but that's for everybody though.
Yeah, I have to say that we're real lucky here in Tampa that we had the Lightning win back to back. They're in the playoffs too, but the Rangers look strong. I mean, just for people who don't know, the Rangers are playing Game 1 this Sunday at 3:00 against the Capitals. Do you think they at least make it past the Capitals?
I got to plead the fifth on this one because my co-host is a Capitals fan, so I don't know if I should say anything or not. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
Because my co-host does live in the area, and he is a Capitals fan. Although the Capitals really have too much success since they won the Cup back in 2017, 2018, whatever it was. So, I think maybe the Capitals fans are a little bit leery too. But if Ovechkin stays in his game, and of course that troublemaker they have on their team, Wilson. I just had a vision here.
Okay, so it should be interesting. It should be an interesting series.
You ready?
Yeah.
Wilson and Rimpey get into a fight. There we go. Okay. The two of the baddest boys in hockey are gonna go duke it out in Game 1. Oh, this is gonna be a massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah. But getting back to Zach for a minute, there's reports like, we have no trouble trading him. We're open to it because maybe they just want to get him out of here. I mean, because he was supposed to be the quarterback of the Jets' future, and hasn't done squat. Okay, he did step in after Mr. Rodgers did not go well in his neighborhood in the opening game. But other than that, has he really done anything? No. So I think it's time to say that it's your time to go. I would rather take Tim Boyle over Wilson any day.
Oh wow! Okay.
I take a robot after actually.
So you thinking they're getting past round 1 at least?
Yes.
Okay, so
Again,
that's good because
Steve.
I always think the first round in playoffs to me is one of the most difficult. It's just difficult to get past the first round. Once you get past the first round, I think you find your stride a bit.
No, you know what? I think the second round is the hardest.
Okay. Second round, he thinks is the hardest.
Especially if you went through a long series in round one, because at that point you are basically, out of gas. If you push to the limit in a 7-game series, chances are second round. It's happened way too often.
Okay.
I've seen it happen before, many times.
Yep.
So, and that does not surprise me.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I definitely think for your sake and for our great friend Rob Simpson's sake, I hope the Rangers do at least get past the first round.
Where were you when it happened 30 years ago?
I was actually in New York when the Rangers did win. That was a long time ago. But yeah,
30 years.
That was in the 90s. I'm sorry,
94.
that was the 94. Yeah. So I was in New York, and I remember it was a big thing. It was something to see.
You could say that again. Even if you didn't, even if you were not there in person to see it, if you were watching it, you felt like you were there.
Wow, that's 30 years ago. I can't believe. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was young then.
Yep. So that's awesome.
No,
I
that's
think they're gonna do it.
Well, I mean, we have a good line. We got Rempe, we got Zibanejad, as well as a few others. I mean, Zibanejad, that's our star player. That's our star player. If he gets hurt though, then we're in trouble. But as well as a few others. So, but the Rangers can stay in their game, and if you have goaltending like Jonathan Quick, I think they're going to be a good run, because he is a phenomenal goaltender. Even though he doesn't, have much of, as the main goaltender, but he is good. And he's of course won 2 Stanley Cups, one against us, of course. But Quick he still got it.
Yeah, you're right. He still does. You're absolutely right about that. It's gonna be a great series. I'm excited about it. I really am. It's gonna be a great series.
Switching to the NBA for a minute, I don't understand this. All right, the Knicks have the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Have number 17 these fellas. Guess who's favored to win?
The Sixers. Yep.
Yes. Does that make any sense?
You know what it is? I think what it is with the Knicks, they got a bad rep. That's what I think it is. I think that people are so used to them not doing well, that's why they get the cred that they get. So even though they're in the playoffs, I feel that people think they're not taking them seriously. Like, all right, you're just gonna you had a great regular season, but you're gonna fall apart come playoffs.
Well, I hope not. I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, the Eastern Conference was very close this year too, especially from number 2 to number 6 down, or 7 down. The only one that really ran away with it, was the Celtics. Excuse me. I think that's wrong. Yeah. I mean, I hate the Celtics. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
With the passion.
But it should be a great series. I'm excited about it. Props to both the Rangers and the Knicks, both of them making it.
94 all over again.
So I got to give them credit. Both teams making it. So a round of applause for them for that. So it should be cool. In fact, let me give them a round of applause for making it, because it's not easy to make it to the playoffs. So the New York teams did really well. I'm from New York, so I got to give them a round of applause. There you go.
That's right. You are from New York, originally. I mean, look at the line we have. Look at the line that we have for the Rangers. We have Scheidel, who's going to come back. Goodrow, he's a we have Goodrow there, so that's that's a good position right there. We also got. I'm looking for one in particular. These are centers, but I'm looking for other players. Kako, he's a right winger. We got Adam Fox, he's a defenseman. Lindgren, Miller. Yes, I don't know how you can miss. Oh, and of course, our best goaltender, we'll just call him Igor, because he is a phenomenal goaltender. And Jacob Trouba, that's another one. They have a good solid defense. This whole team. You got Fox, Trouba, Miller. I don't know how you can miss with a defense like that. I really don't.
Okay. Yeah.
Right the right winger, it's not bad too. Also other left wingers, you got Lafreniere, great left winger. Lower Kreider, they've got some pretty good goals. Jimmy Vesey, and another great winger who has done phenomenal this year, Amari Panarin. So I think we have a really good solid lineup with this Rangers squad.
Yeah, I feel positive about it. I think it's going to work itself out. At least they'll get past the first round, and I think the Knicks are going to get past the first round too. I really do. Yeah,
everybody's thinking, well, the Sixers are favored. I really don't see how they don't deserve to be favored. And if MB gets hurt, forget it. And I don't really think he's all that 100% healthy anyway. So I really don't think that the Sixers have much of a chance. I really don't. I think the being favored is very misleading here. I don't see it.
Yeah. So it should be interesting to see.
It better be.
Yep. But what's interesting also is going to be what you got cooking tomorrow. You got a lot to talk about.
No kidding. All right, where do I begin? Let me see. Oh, yeah. We'll, of course, take predictions for the NHL and NBA playoffs. We got a lot of recapping to do this weekend because we're going to recap the WNBA draft. That's right, I said the WNBA draft. Don't like it too bad. The Masters, the first major of the year, unless you count the Invitational. We'll also recap the Boston Marathon, as we had winners from Kenya again this year. And being a former marathon runner, that does hold close to me. We'll also, of course, have MLB, UFC, WWE, and UFL. Oh boy. And of course, your thoughts and comments, the ridiculous sign of the week, sports trivia this week in sports history, and the feel-good story of the week. So if you got time between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, that's Eastern Time, people. Remember that now. Number is 512-543-4662. Again, 512-543-4662. Yes, guys, I am back. I did have a show last week. Despite any rumors that happened, I did do a show this last week, and I will do a show again this week. I don't plan on going anywhere. Okay? Let's get this straight up. I am not planning on going anywhere. I'm not leaving. I'm not doing any of that. As long as I got strength in me, I will continue to do it, unless I have a computer malfunction or I get some falling space junk out of the sky. I'll be here.
There you go. My man's not giving up. Lou is keep going. Yeah. He's gonna keep it going.
Do a show for the apocalypse.
That's right. No, he's fighting. In fact, that phone number is 512-543-4662. 512-543-4662. Between 4 and 6 p.m. Saturday, Eastern Standard Time Zone. That is so encouraging that he's not going to give up. He's going to keep fighting. That's what we love to hear. And make sure you check him out at the Enhanced Sports Show right there on YouTube too. The Enhanced Sports Show. That's right. That's encouraging. That's really encouraging. I appreciate you.
We need more of that in this world.
That's right. We do. We do need encouraging in this world. And I'm glad you said that, Lou. Like, guys, ladies, and gentlemen, you need to stop hating on each other. Stop, not trying to help other people because it comes back. If you don't have money, so like someone's page, like their comment, follow them. Stop doing that internet stalking stuff where everybody can see what you're doing. You're looking at their stuff, but you don't ever comment. You don't like it. It shows more about you than about them. Stop being a hater. Go out there and support people and watch. Things will turn around for you. We need that in this world. Lou is 100% right. We need people that are more positive in this world. Just like Lou, you got too many negative Nellies out there, and you got too many people who have the crab box mentality. Stop it.
And remember what the old song says.
What did he say?
He's going to make me do it. He's going to make me do it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, boy. All right. You want me to do it? I'll do it. What the world is love? Sweet love, oh, boy. Before I embarrass something further, I'm going to get out of here and maybe someone and wait for another caller. So on that note, good night. I hope I hear from you tomorrow.
Yes, definitely looking forward to it. I'm glad that you're back. May your father rest in peace. Many prayers and condolences to you and your family. Keep strong. Keep positive. I'm so glad you called in, Lou. Always great to hear from you.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, Alex.
God bless you. Thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate you.
Okay, Diane, you're up.
Yeah, so definitely that's so awesome to hear from Lou. Again, my prayers, condolences go out to him and his family. And he just revealed, I didn't even realize this on live TV, that his father passed away. I did not know that till just now, hearing it live. And speaking of someone who's lost their father, it's definitely something that's tough to deal with. And I just thank God and pray that I'm happy that at least I got 24 years with my dad. So I lived until I was 24. My father passed away, but I had him in my life up until that point. Just like any father and son relationship, we had some highs and we had some lows, but he's still my dad. I love him to death and I miss him. And I think about him. That's why I can't really watch that movie Ferdinand. If you ever watch a kid's movie Ferdinand, that movie is kind of pulls at the heartstrings a bit. It's a kid's movie, but if you have to watch it, I want to give it away. Called Ferdinand. Kids movie called Ferdinand. And you almost don't think it's a kids movie because it deals with kind of like mature content, but it's wrapped and clothed into a kids movie. But yeah, it's something that's never easy, losing a parent, especially a dad. You only get one dad, and that's part of what motivates me to be, the best that I can be, and also to help other kids who are out there who don't have a dad, who don't have that chance, don't have that opportunity. I think everyone deserves, whether you're male, female, you deserve to have that father-daughter, father-son relationship. It's something real special. And we're going to talk more about father and son a bit later in the show. But first, we're going to go ahead and take a little time out to thank another one of our fantastic sponsors. Thank you to CTC ME Mortgage, our sole sponsor. Definitely, hey, let me pull this up here. Thank you, Kurt McCrae of CTC ME Mortgage. Hey, if now is the time. It's getting near summertime. You want to get that beautiful home. You don't have a lot of money. Guess what? Kurt McCrae can help you. Yes, he can. Kurt McCrae can help you. All you got to do is just pick up the phone, give him a call. He told me if you don't have a lot of money to put down, he can help you. Call him at 346-527-7564. Again, that's 346-527-7564. And if you need to refinance, Kurt McCrae can help you. He can help you with refinancing your home. He can help you with that as well. Great thing about this is that Kurt McCrae can help you whether you live in Florida, or in Texas, Florida and Texas, today is a perfect day to start building equity. Contact me now to start your home buying journey. He's ready to help you, Kurt McCray. And if you want to go ahead and check and see their website, it's ctcmemortgage.com, ctcmemortgage.com. We're going to, in fact, play a song right now, and that is a song called the CTC ME Mortgage song right here on the Alan Alfred Sports Talk Show. Let me cue that song right on up. And this is also CTC ME Mortgage right now.
Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Make the call today. There's no extra fees to pay. Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Get a low interest rate, there's no need to finance a payment plan. Kurt McCray is your man. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company. CTCME Mortgage Company.
Mortgage Company. Make sure you give them a call there. 346-527-7564. 346-527-7564. Or you can visit at ctcmemortgage.com. ctcmemortgage.com. That is awesome. So yes, folks, we're going to go ahead and talk now about some football. We're going to talk about some UFL news to kick things off. A lot to discuss about that because the thing is about we're recapping the UFL games and there's a lot to discuss and impact. Let me start with last weekend's games. It's kind of shocking and surprising, but the championship Arlington Renegades unfortunately fell to 0-3. It's shocking that they would be 0-3. I knew that the teams were going to come and blaze them, like come really hard. You had the DC Defenders, who they just lost to. You had also the Battlehawks, and you had the San Antonio Brahmas. They had faced. I'm sorry, they had faced. I beg your pardon. The Brahmas is coming up. They had faced the Birmingham Stallions. They faced the DC Defenders, and they faced the Battlehawks. What I did notice about the Arlington Renegades in the UFL, you have to run up the score. Let me just call Frank. I'm saying that you have to run up the score in a professional type of way, and the reason being is because you have a 3-point conversion you could try to convert. Most of the teams have not done a 3-point or attempted a 3-point. Most of them have attempted either a 1 or 2-point. You could do a 3-point conversion, and you could get a touchdown. So that's 9 points. On top of that, you could do the 4 for 12 move,
It used to be 4th and 15. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the 4th and 12, my opinion about it. But professionally speaking, you have to try to run up the score and do it in a professional way, because you get down to the 3-4 minute timeline, you can end up losing the game. One of the things about the Renegades, they actually played really well, but they have not closed out games well. I felt the last game they should really have felt the worst about. It's hard when you're playing the Battlehawks, when you're playing against, a team early in the season that's got 40,000 plus fans that are not cheering for you. So that is I knew that was going to be a tough road trip for them. Not to say they couldn't have won that game, but the DC Defenders, they gave that game away. I felt like there wasn't enough of a sense of urgency, I felt, on the Arlington Renegades to make that closeout play to get them to win the game. And because they kept the DC Defenders hanging around, you can almost see what was going to end up happening. And lo and behold, it did. The big thing that people were talking about, the 4th and 12, it used to be 4th and 15. To be real with you, I think the Arlington Renegades would have lost that game if it was 4th and 15, because the play where they got the first down, the person had at least 3 or 4 yards in front of him, and he just kind of caught it, went down. But the Arlington Renegades got to think. I love what Luis Perez, the quarterback, said. Let's keep pushing forward. Let's not look at where we're at or take our foot off the gas. I felt as if the Arlington Renegades, especially in the last quarter, took their foot off the gas, and they kept the DC Defenders hanging around. And even it may have been like a thing in their head, here we go again, we're about to lose a game in the last closing minutes. It could have been that too, but that's the reason why they lost that game. So my opinion about the 4th and 12, if you let somebody convert a 4th and 12 on you, you probably would have let a 4th and 15 get on you too. I don't think that 3 yards would have made that big of a difference, to be real with you. That's what makes the UFL different and exciting. That's why you have to try to score, especially if you're in that position, because you have 9-point swing, and that 4th and 12 makes a difference. So it is kind of surprising. I felt as if the Renegades would have won at least one of those 3 games in that mix. But I will tell you this much. The best teams, the question is, who is the best team in the UFL right now? I would have to say, for what I've seen, the Birmingham Stallions and the Battlehawks. Those two, to me, clearly are the best teams in the league at this point. Things could change, but I always have to say the Stallions got a step ahead of everybody, and I do think the Battlehawks have a step ahead of everybody too. Now, the reason why I say things could change is because of this point. Quinten Dormady is now going to get his first start, just like he did with the Guardians. He didn't kind of like start off the season he kind of had like a rocky, bumpy type of road with the Guardians. He gets an opportunity. I think he does a lot better than maybe starting off. I think he does better when he's the guy that people doubted or didn't get that opportunity. I think he has a chip on the shoulder. I expect the Brahmas to kind of get resurgent because of this and come back strong. So the Brahmas have a chance to move back in there as one of the top teams in the league. But I say the Birmingham Stallions, the Battlehawks, the DC Defenders are right there too, and the Brahmas are right there as well. But I do think the Renegades will get a win this weekend. I do think they will beat the Houston Roughnecks. And one of the things that the fans did say about the Roughnecks is Curtis C.J. Johnson. A lot of the fans from the Roughnecks don't feel as if he's competent to be the head coach. They said he seemed like a great guy, but they don't think he's the right fit for the team, and they don't think he's over his head is what they described it as. I thought about this and I looked into it. Curtis C.J. Johnson actually does have some, head coaching experience. He's not actually in the same position. At first, initially, when I heard it, I didn't really know his background. I checked into it, and he does have some head coaching experience. He did coach the Gramblers. He also, for those who don't know, he does have quite a bit of head coaching experience. He coached the Gramblers. Then in Tulane, 2012 to 2015, he was the head coach of Tulane as well. He was a Chicago Bears wide receivers coach. So, yeah, he does have quite a bit of coaching experience. I would have to agree with the criticism a bit. I do think CJ, I'm glad that he's got this opportunity, but he does sometimes give the impression that he is over his head. It's just not something he says. It's just the way he kind of acts on the sidelines and the way he goes about his business. I think he needs to shore that up a bit, because if you lose this team, speaking from somebody who's covered a team that has lost quite a bit of games, with them losing, which I expect them to lose against the Arlington Renegades, to go 0-4, at that point, that's when you can start to lose a team. When teams go from 0-3 to 0-4, the guys are like, screw it, because then that negativity starts to build in. They don't feel as if they have a chance. Even though they're not mathematically eliminated, that self-doubt comes in. That frustration starts to come out. So I don't believe things are going to get any easier, unfortunately. But I do feel as if sometimes it's not fake it till you make it. I don't agree with that. But you gotta be on top of it. You gotta look like a person who's confident, who knows what they're doing, assured of yourself, and watching how, just evaluating what I was seeing on the sidelines, I didn't get that impression, and I can understand why fans get that feeling like, okay, this person's over their head. They're not prepared for this position, and I'll just pray that things get better. But yeah, it is a bit shocking. So I hope things turn around for the Roughnecks, but I expect 0-4 coming real soon, and the real test of how things happen afterwards is going to happen, because when guys get to 0-4, you'll see it's hard for you to keep them motivated. So that was the big news that came out of UFL was, Quinten Dormady, and that, they feel that Curtis, not me, that's what a lot of fans have been saying, they feel as if Curtis C.J. Johnson's over his head. Unfortunately, I would have to somewhat agree with that. It does give that impression like, okay, you feel as if you're not showing that confidence that, okay, without looking at the loss thing, you got to look like you know what you're capable of this job. So, having said that, we're going to switch gears a little bit, talk about Major League Baseball. Doc Gooden gets number 16 retired by the Mets. Congratulations to Doc Gooden on that fantastic achievement. Let's go ahead and give him a round of applause to Doc Gooden getting number 16 retired. Yeah, there was overwhelming was positive that Doc Gooden got enshrined in. But there was one negative comment. I usually don't respond on social media when people say things. I actually don't. I usually say my opinion for this show for you guys. But this was one of the exceptions to the rule. Someone tried to knock Doc Gooden. I felt obliged to take that opportunity and set them straight. Because their opinion was Doc Gooden is not worthy of his number being retired. That was their opinion. And I severely disagree. And let me explain to you why. Doc Gooden did not ask the Mets to retire his number. He never called the ownership team. He never asked or requested. He never went through the social media, where we have had players who had kind of tried to bend their ear and kind of like lead their opinion or like, hey, nudge them a bit, like, hey, you should retire my number. Doc Gooden did none of the above. He did not expect them to call him and retire his number or anything. In fact, he thought it was, as he said, a prank call at first. He didn't think, he knew it was the owner, but he felt as if the owner wasn't being serious because he didn't feel as if he was owed that honor or they were going to fall through with that type of honor. Doc Gooden, we all know about his past, and I'm not going to get into that. You have to kind of research it yourself. If you don't know already, watch some of the documentaries. We already know. But you got to look at this. Doc Gooden was the superstar for the Mets at the age of 20, 21. And, you know, when you're successful and that young, you come around, people are supposed to be your mentors and help you, and they kind of taking you to places you shouldn't be going to, you can run yourself into trouble. And that's what happened with Doc. But for them to give him that honor and retire his number, I absolutely agree with it. Because the Mets got a championship in 1986. They had an outstanding run with the Mets. The contribution that Doc Gooden put in with the team to get all those wins for them to make it to the playoffs was outstanding. Yes, I know that he didn't have the best postseason, but man, he was legendary. And for the Mets to bestow that honor onto him is what I said, that you have to respect that. You know, it's not you making the decision of whether to retire someone's number as a fan. It's the people who own the Mets, the people working the organization, they make the decision. And they made the decision to bestow this honor onto Doc Gooden. You have to respect it and appreciate it. Because, you know, just like anybody who gets their number retired, most people don't ask their number to be retired, and you should not ask for your number to be retired. Let me make that very clear. Yes, there's been some players that have said, hey, my number should be retired. Alex Rodriguez is one of them. You should never ask to have your number retired. It's an honor that's bestowed upon you. It's not something that you should ask or nudge or talk to the media about. You just shut your mouth and say, hey, whatever their decision is or whatever they decide, I'd be honored. I am not going to say that they should owe me or I deserve to get my number retired. It's not something that I will ever come out and say. That's it. And go from there. And props to Doc Gooden. I really wanted to be at that celebration. Unfortunately, it just did not work well with my schedule, but I am looking forward, and props to, I told you guys Gary Sheffield was going to be there. He was right there. Darryl Strawberry was there too, which I wasn't surprised with that. I am looking to attend Darryl Strawberry's, jersey retirement. I'm still working on getting the media access, but I pray that it's going to work itself out, and I'm going to get the media access and be on that field and be right there to celebrate with Darryl. I pray, and I know it's going to happen. I'm very confident in happening too. I just got to weather the storm, so to speak. A lot bigger things are happening here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. I won't get into all of that. But back to the number jersey retirement, I think that's foolish for Alex Rodriguez to insinuate and say that his number should be retired by the Yankees. The Yankees are not going to retire a number. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That is just fool's thinking. Ask for your number to be retired, and definitely Alex Rodriguez is not the person who should ask for his number to be retired. You got suspended twice for PEDs. The Yankees are a very clean-cut, no controversy type of organization. From a Yankees fan and Yankees, what they tolerate, Alex Rodriguez was an embarrassment in a lot of ways to the Yankees. Yes, he stepped up in that 2009 postseason and was boss. But at the same token, yes, he did stellar, but you also failed a drug test, meaning you were on drugs. That's just the facts. I mean, yes, you balled out, but yes, you were on PEDs too. So, no, Alex, you don't get your number retired when you embarrass the organization that is supposed to retire your number. I don't see how people do these sidewinder deals. They get caught, and then they think, oh, but look at the greatness I did. Like, yeah, but You were cheating. Like, come on, man. And you didn't need to cheat. That's the crazy thing about it is you were cheating and you didn't need to cheat. You did some foolishness and you got busted, and then you try to mess up the investigation and they got busted again for the same thing you got busted again with the first time. You just embarrassed the Yankees. The Yankees are not that type of organization at all. Clean shaven, no controversy, pinstripes, business oriented. They don't do that type of drama and controversy. You may have had a great postseason in 2009, but come on, man. We all know something was extra. Something a little extra was in your juice. So I'm not knocking Alex. Alex is a fantastic and an awesome baseball player. He is. And he's actually extremely fan-friendly, too. He'll sign an autographs. The guy's awesome with that. But when it comes to getting his number and jersey retired, he should stop that conversation today. And he should stop the conversation about Cooperstown today. It is not going to happen. Gary Sheffield deserves to be in there. I would vote for Gary Sheffield. If Alex was on the ballot, as much as I think he's a great signer and a great for the fans, as far as fan-friendly, I would not vote for him. It wouldn't even be a consideration. It wouldn't be a consideration. So come on, man. It wouldn't say, hey, Alan, would you think about this? No. Alan, would you know? Alan, would you know? I would not think about it because I already know the facts. I already know what went down. No. Again, don't ask for your number to be retired, especially when you got dirty laundry. Props to Doc Gooden for what he did. He deserves to get his number retired. Stop hating on the guy for getting the number retired. It was the Mets' decision, and I honor it. I mean, hey, man, that's awesome. And it's kudos to Doc Gooden, too, because one of the things that kind of breaks your heart with Doc Gooden, if you know his story a little bit, when it was at the high of his career, which was winning the 86 World Series, he unfortunately did not make the parade. And I'm not going to say where he was at. You'll have to do the research, but it's well documented what happened and why he missed the parade. You'll have to watch a documentary yourself or research yourself. But that's an opportunity and that's an experience unfortunately, he never got again. It was a one and done because even though as great as the Mets were, the 86 Mets, they did not make it back to the World Series. So that experience kind of haunted him for a good part of his life. For him to get his jersey retired, and that was another part of what they said was he ruined his career. That was what they ended with. Doc Gooden did not ruin his career. He got his number retired by the Mets, number 16, the team that drafted him. That is not a disgrace, and that is not ruining a career. Think about it. Look how many players play this game of baseball, and how many of them do not get their number retired by any of the organizations they ever. Maybe they played for one or they played for multiple. They don't get their numbers retired. That is outstanding. Congratulations again to Doc Gooden. I'm looking forward to Darryl's. That's coming up in June 1st. Jackie Robinson got honored too for Major League Baseball. First thing I want to say is rest in peace, Jackie Robinson, and also rest in peace to Chad Boswick, who played Jackie Robinson, the actor, and he also played Black Panther, for those who know. Unfortunately, has passed away. It was great to see Miss Jackie Robinson out there, his wife. And it's a real honor that they, honor Jackie Robinson because of his contribution to baseball. I do have to give props to someone else, though, to be fair. And let me make sure that I get this in here. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, so Jackie Robinson, he is
he broke the color barrier, but in all intents and purposes, he was not the first African American baseball player. Not to hate on his parade, but you have to do a little bit of research and check into that. His name slipped my mind, but I will get that before the telecast is over. Props to Jackie Robinson and his achievement. Let me go ahead and make sure. Yeah, he's not as popular, unfortunately, as Jackie Robinson. Yes. Yes, Moses Fleetwood Walker. There we go. His name keeps slipping my mind. Moses Fleetwood Walker. For those who are historians, Moses Fleetwood Walker is actually the first technically black African American player to play in Major League Baseball. Unfortunately, Moses Fleetwood Walker was way before Jackie Robinson. Not taking anything away from Jackie Robinson. They're both legends. But Jackie Robinson gets more of the publicity because he's, number one, he's more closer to this era. And another thing is, Jackie kind of got more publicity at this time. Media was more kind of into the game of baseball at the time. And Moses Fleetwood Walker kind of gets, kind of forgotten about. But Moses Fleetwood Walker played without a glove. I mean, it was hardcore baseball back then. Fleetwood Walker, who's technically the first African-American baseball player. Jackie Robinson took it platinum, so to speak, and he gets, kind of like the red carpet because it was now more like in modern day. He, there's definitely great video of him, Moses Fleetwood Walker. There isn't as much, pictures and video of him because it was so many, many, many years ago. Whereas Jackie, there's a lot more documentary, interviews, more of the technology advanced, and they signed the contract, and Jackie gets a lot of the, I would say, grandiose publicity for it. But if you really do the historical research on it, Moses Fleetwood Walker is actually technically the first African American baseball player to ever play baseball and kind of break the segregation. He doesn't get the publicity that, of course, Jackie does. Jackie Robinson is more of like the face of the color barrier breaking. So rest in peace to Moses Fleetwood Walker. Can't forget him. Jackie Robinson, as well as Chad Boswick. Rest in peace to all three of those men, because we have shows like I Could Do My Show here, and to have people that are not the same color as me. And that is, a lot of it has been paved the way by people ahead of me. I give them all props. They all played a vital role. So props to April 15th, number 42. It's great that Major League Baseball acknowledges Jackie Robinson. It's awesome. And let me give him a round of applause, in fact. Yeah. So, yes, we're going to go ahead and switch a little bit of gears here and now talk about the NBA. The NBA. So we're going to talk about that now. This is funny, man. This is funny. Okay. Blake Griffin retires from the NBA. That in it by itself is not funny. But folks, story I'm going to tell you about Blake Griffin is funny. Okay, what happened with Blake Griffin is this. Oh, sorry about that. I went to a basketball game with me and my wife, and Blake Griffin was just now coming into the league, and he was playing his first game he wasn't on the Magic, but he was first game at the Orlando Magic. This group of girls kept saying,
It's one girl in particular, but she was with her girlfriends. But one girl with the sign in particular, she kept saying, "I want to have your baby. I want to have your baby, Blake Griffin. I want to have your baby. I want to have your baby." I kid you not, folks. I cannot even make this stuff up. And at first, I was looking at her like thinking it was a joke, like, haha, you with your girlfriends just joking around. Folks, she was being dead red serious. I looked, and she was saying this like on and off throughout the entire game. And she was not joking. She was being serious. He just came into league. He was, at that time, he had just married Kim Kardashian for like the 60-something hours, 62 days. And they just broke up. And that's what happened. Let me go ahead and take a wonderful caller here on the Alan Alfred Sports Talk Show. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing excellent. How about yourself? How you feeling?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. And my prayers and condolences go out to yourself as well as Lou. Lou broke the news here on live TV that unfortunately his father passed. I did not know that until he told me on the show.
I knew that.
Definitely my prayers and condolences go out to you and as well as Lou. I'm sorry I missed. You're welcome. I'm sorry I missed last week's show. It's understandable. You had a lot going on. But yeah, so I know that Josh Allen is now trying to get another receiver to replace Stephon Diggs. You think he's going to be able to do it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be real exciting.
Why can't Josh Allen replace Stephon Diggs? Is he a receiver?
Yeah, Stephon Diggs was a very good receiver, but I think towards the end, I think he was becoming a lot more of a headache because I think he just kept complaining about not getting the ball. That's what I think. And I don't know why wide receivers get to that point where, okay, yes, he may have thrown you 12 to 14 balls the game before, but in the playoffs, things change. You can't throw it to the same receiver 12, 14 times a game. You just can't do it. The defense locks him up. Any good defense will be like, hey, we got to watch Stephon Diggs. Like any defensive coordinator would say that.
Is Josh Allen a receiver?
Say again?
Is Josh Allen a receiver?
No, but Josh Allen wants to get another. He wants to get another like number one pick. He wants to get like a superstar wide receiver to replace Stephon Diggs. He's basically said that he wants to get somebody.
I think that we could get a superstar wide receiver, place him, but he probably could get a receiver.
Yeah, somebody who could definitely make a playmaker for sure. So it should be exciting to see what they get to replace him. But yeah, he's looking to do something. That's good.
Yeah, what position is Josh Allen?
Quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, your Rangers are in the playoffs.
I'm a Devils fan.
Okay.
But I'm glad the Rangers are in the playoffs. Lou is a Rangers fan.
Yeah, it should be exciting to see what they do. I'm happy for them. And I pray that they do make it at least out of the first round. So it should be exciting to see. The Rangers are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Have you watched any UFL games?
No.
Okay.
Have you?
I guess you're kind of like Lou. You're not into the spring UFL football.
Exactly. Have you?
Yeah, I covered them. In fact, not this weekend. The next weekend, I'm gonna be covering another game. It'll be the second game I covered. I love the UFL. I hope they make it. I really do. I can see why people are gravitated to it, and I can see where it helps players and coaches get an opportunity.
Yeah, I might be more interested if New Jersey tag teaming it, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that is one thing that the CEO did say is if they continue to do well, they are going to expand. I do expect them to expand back and get a team here in Florida, and I do expect them to get a team in New York or New Jersey for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I'm so glad to hear from you. So glad you called in.
Mhm.
Always a pleasure. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
I'm really glad didn't give me any problems this time. On Wednesday, I tried going to the show and it hung up on me.
yeah, I apologize. You know, the blog talk sometimes has a mind of its own. It does some things that frustrates me sometimes.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, but you know, you just gotta ride with the punches. Show must go on, as they say. But yeah, I appreciate you giving it your try, and I will definitely call in tomorrow too.
Yeah, me too.
I'm looking forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, so you definitely have a wonderful night. Thank you for calling.
Too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you, Diane. Many
Appreciate
blessings.
you, Joel.
Thank you. Means a lot to me.
You're welcome.
Have a fantastic night. Bye now.
You too.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome to hear from Diane. So, you know, it's always a great night when we get Lou and Diane, and definitely many prayers and condolences go out to both of them. And, you know, Lou losing his father, that's always never easy. And I found out live here on the show, so I'm glad I did find out, though. Definitely many prayers and condolences go out to Lou and his family. And yes, so I wanted to talk about that NBA news. Every time I see Blake Griffin, because of that fanatical fan, that seriously, she was not joking, because she was sitting in the section next to me, and this was early in the season. This was when the Orlando Magic, which I'm going to talk about them in a few minutes, were not doing well. They were last place, more losses than wins type of thing. They were not winning. And I believe I won those tickets, so it was not sold out. So basically, you could hear pretty much if somebody's yelling in a section or two over, and she was yelling, trying to get his attention. He literally just divorced Kim Kardashian with that 62-day marriage, and she was yelling, "Blake, I want to have your baby. I want to have your baby." And she was being serious. She was being outright serious. At first, we were laughing, like me and a group of people that was there, and thinking she was just playing games, but no, she was saying it the whole night, the whole game. And anytime he would get the ball, she was screaming. But congratulations to Blake Griffin. If he's looking for a wife, go to Orlando and run into that lady and you'll get one. But every time I see Blake Griffin, I can't get that image out of my head. I want to have your baby. But yeah, that's what happened. And props to congratulations to Blake Griffin with his retirement. Congratulations. He's like deja vu. Blake Griffin retires. The Orlando Magic, who was usually trash and has been losing a lot over the last so many years, made the playoffs. So fantastic. Congratulations to Magic. Yep, congratulations to the Magic, for making the playoffs. That is outstanding. So that's first time in 4 years that they made it to the playoffs. And it kicks off, let me just get the time here for you guys to give you that as well. And I had it up here before. Let me just pull it up here real quick. Yep, it starts tomorrow at 1 o'clock against Cleveland. They're playing their away game at Cleveland. Game 2 is back here at 7 o'clock p.m. Game 3 is Thursday at Cleveland. So it's Cleveland, Magic, Cleveland. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Monday at 7, Thursday at 7 p.m. And I'm going to see if I can. I'm almost tempted to see if I could cover that game on Monday, but it would be tight because I have some kind of like a schedule conflict. But I did think about it. I will tell you that much. I did think about it. So we'll see. I won't commit to saying I'll be able to cover it just yet, but I'm very, very tempted. But yes, and also wanted to go ahead and talk a bit about boxing. And let me go ahead and pull this up here. But before we get to boxing, let's go ahead and thank another one of our fantastic sponsors. We've been blessed here at the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. Going to thank none other than Pushpin Adventures, travel planning concierge service. Definitely, hey guys, next Thursday is my last All-Pro Dad. And the reason why I bring it up because the schedule is winding down. Summer is about to hit. Now is your opportunity to go ahead and take that travel destination that you ever thought about. You can do it in the summer. You can start booking a trip for Thanksgiving or Christmas. The great thing about it is Pushpin Adventures can help you, whether you're doing it as you yourself, couple, or group. Definitely check out Pushpin Adventures. And you got the contact there is going to be Monique. 3 things you don't know about me. Number 1, my ultimate bucket list destination is the moon. But I don't have that on my inventory just yet. She's working on it. Number 2, favorite food is seafood. Point me to the crab boil, please, and thank you. And number 3, I majored in dance in high school. Go ham. So you want to go ahead and take that cruise. She has this awesome deal. Virgin Voyages, November 27th to December 1st. No kids, no cooking. Thanksgiving is going to be a treat for you. So let me go ahead and give you, too, the contact information. So make that trip. Go ahead and have a great time. Make sure you call Monique at 626-838-1006, 626-838-1006, or visit pushpinadventures.com/virgin. If you're interested in this cruise, pushpinadventures.com/virgin, or you can just go to pushpinadventures.com. And in fact, we have another great song here by Sanscola Songs, which are all available on YouTube and Spotify. We're going to play the Pushpin Adventure song for you right now here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. So you get a chance, and thanks Sanscola Songs for that one. Thank you so much. So we're going to play that song right now. You're going to cue it up here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show.
626-838-1006, 626-838-1006, or you can go ahead and visit pushpinadventures.com/virgin, pushpinadventures.com or /virgin for that cruise. Go ahead and book it. Don't hesitate. Get on that cruise. Give Monique a call today. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you here at Pushpin Adventures. Thank you so much for being a great sponsor here at the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. Much more to come here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about, I'm going to give you guys a little bonus here, Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. Congratulations to Caitlin Clark for being the first round draft pick in the WNBA draft. Having said that, unfortunately, where there's greatness, there's haters. And that's what happened with a reporter who basically had a really weird, awkward moment right when Caitlin Clark came to Indiana. Let me break down this interaction. The reporter, first and foremost, reported, he apologized. I won't even mention the name here. You can look it up and find it. They apologized. And the reason why they apologized, because what was really on the inside and really how they truly feel came on the outside in public, and now they felt bad about it. That interaction was nothing more than basically, I'm the person in the reporter, I have the pen, and I work in the media, so I feel a sense of entitlement, and being, quote, unquote, a male chauvinist pig, you have to kind of, in a nice way, kiss my rear end. And as long as you do that, we're going to be cool. Is basically what this interaction was about. I'm giving you what is really the root of it. That's not what was said. That's not what was kind of like what you're going to read about. But I'm going to break down what the interaction was really about. You're coming here to this team. You basically are second fiddle to me. I got the pen, I got the paper, I have the media. I feel a sense of entitlement. If you kiss my rear end, we're going to be cool. Basically, if you bow down to me. Very weird interaction. And they apologized. And they said they're part of the problem. That was their part of their apology. To me, you're not part of the problem. You are the problem. Not part of it. You are the problem. Here's a girl, 22 years old, who just now became the first round draft pick, outstanding basketball career. She didn't win. She didn't get a championship ring, but she ended up being the first round draft pick against a lot of great competition. She's doing big things. Not only that she get a very nice salary from the WNBA. She has the NIL deal. She has endorsements. She's already a multimillionaire. But none of that matters when you're the reporter and you are dealing with the female. The female got to kiss your butt. You understand? Because you're entitled. And the reality is, it was poor reporting. It was despicable. And it's not part of the problem. You are the problem. Because it's like, hey, women get a chance. They play really great. And then they come across this situation where you meet a guy who has somewhat of authority over you, or they think they have authority over you, and it becomes like this male chauvinist type of pig type of thing. It's unfortunate that you got to deal with this with insecure men who, you're going to meet in life because you're doing great things. I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. I think the world that she has a lot of respect, a lot of restraint. She did a classy response to a really immature, bigoted type of move, Bush League move, in my opinion, by a reporter. And it's Bush League reporting. Like, you get a chance to ask the number one draft pick, outstanding collegiate basketball player, set many records, doing big things,
It's already a superstar going into the WNBA, and you have to make something crass like that because she's given a heart symbol to her family, which is not with. She wasn't giving it to you. She's giving it to her family. That's a private moment between her and her family, and you're basically implying that she's got to give it to you, and everything would be cool. Come on, man, get over yourself. I hope that reporter sees this. In fact, I'm going to tag and send this to the reporter. In fact, I'm not going to mention your name on air. Bush League reporting. Bush League. And the reason why you're apologizing is because how you felt on the inside publicly came out. And you're not part of the problem. You are the problem. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. I don't usually get this kind of like emotional, but it's just so Bush League. As a person who covers the media, that was trash. And I'm a guy talking to another guy. Bush League. Get over your insecure self. You are crap. You are not a good reporter, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You're not part of the problem. You are the problem. How are you going to come in there and ask us some Bush League question like that? Oh, we're going to get along good if you do that to me. If you kiss my rear end, we're going to get along good. Again, get over yourself. And I'm going to tag you on this, and I'm going to tweet it to you. That's why I didn't say anything publicly about it till now. Bush League reporting. And I want the people who hire people like this to understand that great reporters are out there. You just got to find them. Not people who are insecure themselves and are just, I'm not going to even say what I really feel on the air. That was Bush League. Bush League reporting. You owe more than just an apology to Caitlin Clark. That was trash. Trash reporting at its finest. You know, the great thing about it is I get a chance to talk to people and athletes, and that's an honor and a blessing. These people are really great people, and a lot of times you don't get a chance to see the greatness because you get somebody who's asking crass questions to get some type of go viral in the media. And that's what people are talking about is this crass remark, which was low class and crass, instead of her greatness. It's about her, not about you. That's what I'm talking about. So we're going to move on here. That's my opinion about that low crass move. Having said that, let's talk about boxing. Ryan Garcia misses weight at 3 pounds versus Devin Garcia. I'll share my thoughts about this. This, you know what? As a person who covers boxing and a person who does admire boxing, I feel the decay of boxing has gotten so bad, I really do, that it's embarrassing for me to watch as a fan. And I'm not saying as a joke. I'm like, as a person who's a fan and a person who covers boxing, and I haven't covered as much as I used to. And the reason why I don't cover as much as I used to, because it's hard to take as someone who knows about boxing. These shenanigans is like WWE unprofessional stuff. And just when you thought you hit rock bottom, boxing does something else to go even deeper. Before I get into the weigh-in and Ryan Garcia failing to make weight, let me back up a bit and talk about the promotion. The promotion of this fight was nothing less than two, let's just say kids, and let's be real, with all due respect, Bill Haney, which is Devin Haney's dad, is so annoying. This guy is living vicariously through his son, and it just gets monotonous. You watch the promotion of the fight, immature, childish behavior, WWE style. You think it's all scripted. Guys are acting. Devin Haney, he has the feeling need to push him, like when there's a bunch of cameras around, just to do anything you can to sell some tickets. It's just like, come on, man. And then it's unprofessional. And that's the reason why I don't like to cover it as much, because if I was there covering this, it's like, come on, guys, like, be professional. Like, this is nowhere near the way it used to be when Mike Tyson was boxing and all of that. Yes, you had guys that were rivals, but there was a certain level of class and decorum and respect it's just shenanigans now. And just they'll say anything to get some pub. I hated the promotion of this fight. Absolutely hated it. All the press conferences, all the interaction between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. It made me not want to buy this fight or even watch this fight. That's how much I got turned off. And then here comes Devin Haney making a bet with Ryan Garcia that, hey, I bet you will not make weight when we do the weigh-in after all this jaw jacking. You would think that with a fight where you have a championship on the line, the last thing you would do as a professional with all the jaw jacking, the contract, the leading up, you knew what day this fight was going to be at, you have a training camp, you would think if somebody bet you that you would not make weight, they would be absolutely out of their mind. But guess what, folks? Ryan Garcia made a bet that he would make weight, and he lost the bet by 3 pounds. Are you kidding me? That right there shows to me that you did not really prepare for this fight. So even if you, let's say, made the weight, which he did not, but let's say you assume you did make the weight, you're not ready to fight Devin Haney. You're not prepared. You're coming in jaw-jacking and not prepared. And this is indicative of who Ryan Garcia is. Ryan Garcia does have some boxing skills. When I mean say some, he's got, great jab, fast puncher, but he doesn't have much, and he's a presser type fighter, but he doesn't have much more than that to offer. He doesn't have a lot of boxing range and skill outside of that. You want to be a great boxer and beat some of the elite boxers, you have to be able to box well. That entails great defense, foot movement, ring generalship, a lot of details. Ryan Garcia has found a couple of niches of how to kind of bypass some of that against most of the boxers. Yes, if you pressure a lot of boxers and you fight someone who doesn't have a lot of boxing skills with Ryan Garcia's skills, yes, he beats 8 out of 10 of them, let's say. But when you're fighting guys who actually can box, you're not going to win. It is clear that the fact that Ryan Garcia did not make weight, he did not practice or do anything different than what he's normally have done in this training camp. It's very clear to me. So he's going to come in unprepared, and I feel he's going to get completely outclassed by Devin Haney. I don't think it'll be a knockout, though. He might knock him down, which could happen, but I do think the fight, he's going to lose a fight. Ryan Garcia is going to lose a fight. I do think he's either going to lose a fight on almost every round for points, or he's going to overcommit and get knocked out. Those are two. And then when I say knocked out, he'll get knocked down and maybe knocked down 1 or 2 times and then quit like he usually does because he feels as if he ain't going to win the fight. That's really the telltale sign about Ryan Garcia. He just talks a bunch, wants to sell fights by talking all this bunch, going to social media, but there isn't any meat on the bone, meaning he's not prepared for the fight. He's unprofessional. He's not going to win this fight against Devin Haney. He's either going to overcommit and get knocked out or lose almost every round on points. So it's very clear to see what's going to happen. And if he does win because he's overweight, he's not going to win the belts because that's off the table when you don't make weight. Extremely unprofessional on Ryan Garcia's part, and it's extremely unprofessional in boxing in general. I know Ryan Garcia is the one that signed the contract. He's the one who's supposed to make weight, promotion, and just how boxing is as a whole. It's extremely unprofessional. And yes, Devin Haney is going to win either by points or, again, he's going to knock down Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is going to pretend like he's really hurt when he's really not. So he could just, because he's a quitter, he's going to quit, get his check. And he's going to go back on social media talking some more junk. So that's what boxing is all about nowadays, talking junk, guys who want to fight the best. And having said that, we got a call in line. Hi, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how you been?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm all right,
glad
man.
to hear from you.
Yeah, same, man.
I'm glad you called in. What do you think about the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney?
Yeah, I guess a lot of the same things you did. The one thing I would probably disagree on is I think his father understands that his son is not really charismatic or entertaining, so he has to kind of be the one to sell the show. So I think that's what he's trying to do. But, yeah, it gets to be a little much. But as far as Ryan Garcia, this kind of shows what you were talking about as far as boxing. The business of boxing is so desperate, and anybody who has any type of star status or, a lot of followers on social media or something like that, they feel like they have to use those people. So a situation like this where the venue's booked, the tickets are bought, the deals have been made, like we're clearly watching somebody spiral into what looks like a mental episode, but everybody's kind of chuckling and acting like, oh, well, he's just selling the fight. Oh, Ryan's just doing it. No, it looks like this kid is really running into some major problems. Like, he looks like he's in crisis, and they're just enabling it. And like I said, because the business of boxing, where everybody's already spent the money on the thing to pull off the fight, nobody wants to stop this and not let it happen, so they're going to go forward with it. And afterwards, who's going to be worried about Ryan? Who's going to determine whether he needs actual help or not? So, yeah, you're right, man. This is a really sad day for boxing, really sad event. And the people who end up getting it and get to watch the jab fest of Devin Haney until Ryan quits or gets himself knocked out. Yeah, man, this is really bad.
It is. You actually brought up some very, very outstanding points. With Ryan Garcia, you're right. The guy, I feel bad for Ryan Garcia. Like, you're absolutely right. He is in the middle of, like, for a young guy, forget about the entertainment and the boxing for a moment. The guy looks lost. I mean, he does. He looks like he really needs some help, some fatherly advice, somebody that he trusts and believes in to give him some humble pie and sit him down and say, hey, guy, you just don't seem right.
Yeah, something's off, man.
Something is off.
Twitter space conversations, the stuff at the MMA event, like this isn't just regular selling the fight, man. This is not what we normally see. We've seen outlandish stuff when people are trying to sell a fight, but you can clearly see that person is in control, and it's usually contrived and just on purpose. They're trying to get a rise out of you. But with this, it's just antics and saying things that seems like he might not be mentally well. So yeah, man. But like you said, the show must go on, so they're gonna make the fight happen anyway. And Devin Haney and company are praying this dude makes it into the ring and the fight starts.
Yeah, exactly. Devin Haney is scared. And you brought up a great point. That was a great point about his dad. Yeah, maybe he's not living vicariously through his dad, but yeah, right. Devin Haney doesn't say much, and even when he does, he's just not charismatic. You're right. He just doesn't have that it factor when it comes to talking. His dad, man, could talk. It almost feels like you want his dad to fight Ryan Garcia,
Right. He's an old barbershop brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can easily see him in a barbershop talking smack for hours, late for work even. Oh, man, I got to go, y'all. I'm late for work. Like, you can see that type of personality. That character, we know. But,
right.
Yeah, his son, not an exciting fighter as a fighter. He's going to stay behind that jab and boring it up a little bit. Not much power, not much pop in those punches, and not really much to say. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah,
I guess let's go ahead and get them in with the Paul brothers and go ahead and make it a special for all the way.
You're right. I mean, he's gonna throw some of the jabs, and this is what I think is gonna happen. He's gonna smother him a lot. He's gonna hug him a lot. You know what I mean? That's what he does. When he gets you getting close, he'll just smother you all night, hold you. You'll reset, and he'll do it again, and he'll throw some jabs in. But it's going to be Devin Haney unless Ryan Garcia overcommits. Ryan Garcia is not right, so he could get knocked out.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility, man. I think he's going to be so reckless where he's just going to swing for the heavens and hope to catch Haney with something, so he's going to leave himself open to be attacked. And the funny thing will be is Haney too cautious to the point of where he won't take a knockout that a man is trying to give him. He's, like you said, he's going to do his jab and hold routine.
Right. Exactly. Like, he might miss that opportunity because he's so jab, hold, that Ryan Garcia, I could see Ryan Garcia being reckless, where he's just trying to get that one hitter quitter, and that's not really the best strategy against Haney. You know, it's just not. He's going to see that coming and expect that.
Yeah.
But
fight cautiously, and you know, he's not prone to taking risks. And the thing is, I think a lot of guys think they're fighting like Floyd when they do this, but in reality, you're not actually fighting like Floyd. Floyd would do a lot of those same antics, but remember, everybody had the plan of they were going to be the one to get inside on Floyd and beat him up and make him fight, so to say. But in reality, when they got in the ring with Floyd, they found out that check right, it kind of hurts. And by the 6th and 7th round, we've seen this every time. You know, guys would start backing out and fighting on the outside, which is a losing proposition against Floyd because, you know, he's a great fighter in that way. But
exactly,
these guys now who think that, they think they're doing the same thing, but they're not. This is not what Floyd used to do.
And Floyd, he actually would let you throw punches, meaning he wouldn't just smother you all the time. He would use that shoulder roll to his advantage and then counter you. You know, he was a great counterpuncher. He would let you kind of throw your punches. And Devin Haney is really boring because he won't let you throw your punches at least. He doesn't have that shoulder roll, that great defense like that. His defense is good, but it's not Floyd good. So he's just going to smother you.
Right.
You know, he's just going to smother you. That's what he's going to do. Floyd will let you actually throw punches, put that shoulder out there, then counter you, move, and then after you get countered and hit, and like you said, that check right, it hurts after a while, you like get defeated and you start moving to the outside. And then it's game over then. Forget it.
Yep.
You know? Floyd is a lot more entertaining.
Got so many people to hate him that much that they were willing to pay, hoping this would be the time to get him to lose. And they paid and paid and paid, and it never came.
That's right. Like they would save up their money come some fight night, say this is the night I'm going to watch him lose, and he never lost. He never did. But
going back, because I don't want to interrupt your show too much. But that Greg Doyle story, you're completely right, man. Greg Doyle, reporter out of Indianapolis, he's been a problem for years. A lot of people don't like him. He has a high profile in the Midwest as far as like if there's any sporting event where somebody of significance is going to be there, he's going to get credentialed for that. Like he's always been this, and you know his terrible articles he's written all over the years that exists as well. But that moment was so funny because it was like he was trying so hard to come up with a moment. It just seemed like he was the most awkward, antisocial person ever, and he couldn't figure out a way to compliment her and have a conversation with like some witty banter. It just turned into old man saying weird stuff to young ladies. Like it was terrible.
Yeah, it was so awkward and bad. I mean, that was terrible. You have a great talent. Like, regardless of how you feel, the girl's a great talent, and she's coming to Indy, and she's getting paid. And you come out with your mouth with something that foolish? Like, come on now.
He was so thirsty, man. He could see the dollar signs flashing above her head. Because he knows, like every sports reporter and beat reporter knows, when you're in a city, if you happen to get one of those stars on your beat, if you can kind of get yourself in to their group, or their handlers decide that you're the person that they should talk to. Look at Brian Windhurst in Cleveland, where he goes to school in Akron, and at the same time as LeBron James gets hired at the Cleveland Plain Dealer, and he has a whole career based on the idea of LeBron James. This is, and we're talking boxing. Hell, of course, you got to talk about Ali, and you know what I mean. So reporters understand that, and I think Doyle, I think the pressure got to him, and just being an awkward, weird person who thinks certain things about women, to where he couldn't hide it because he was trying. He was not trying to come off that way. It just happened.
You're absolutely right. You could just tell that that was the funny thing about it, is you could tell this is how his mentality is and his psyche is and his thought process about women and all of that, and like his ego and stuff, and it slipped out. Oh snap, I let how I really feel out to everybody. Now I can't hide it anymore. That ego, that self-entitlement, and I'm a male, I'm always above you, you're a female, in order for you to kind of like do good, you got to kind of kiss my butt. And it came out. Like you said, he wasn't trying, but that was what made it so funny, was that it showed what his mindset was like.
Yeah. And remember, Caitlin Clark could have her whole career in Indiana and never talk to him again, as far as like a one-on-one situation or a long-form interview. It could just be him screaming out questions from press row, hoping that she calls on him. And it could be like that because of his behavior. And she would be completely justified in looking at that dude like, man, I don't want to talk to that creepy old dude.
Exactly. He messed up from day one. Like, you're right, because you brought up a great point that when you are a reporter, you work in the media, you do want to get on people's good side. You understand? You want them to say, okay, yeah, this guy, you can, it's okay for him to ask you questions or her to ask you questions because they ask good questions and they're not trying to like kind of getting you in trouble, so to speak. But like you said, now he done ruined it. She probably was going to skip over him, and you can almost forget about a one-on-one. She ain't going to give him a one-on-one. He might get a question, like you said, in a media room with a bunch of other people. He might be last called on or close to last. He might get a question, but he ruined himself. He ruined himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's going to be, like, no matter how her rookie season goes, she's going to be such a gigantic story in that area that whoever is the WNBA beat reporter for Indiana, they're gonna get first dibs, and he's always gonna be either getting the AP wire for generic quotes or whatever, but he's not gonna get direct good stuff, and it's gonna be a lot of that because you got the ups and downs of a rookie season, you got a whole state kind of with all of their hopes and dreams on her back. All the stuff that comes with being a small-time great player. Like, all of that stuff is involved. And, yeah, this is going to be real interesting, man, because they're going to move some of the games to bigger venues as well. And, of course, she's still a rookie, so there's going to be a lot of nights where she's outplayed or out-thought by some of the older players. So, yeah, this is going to be a lot, bro.
Yeah, it is. And, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for Indy and I'm happy for women's basketball. It's great that this got so much attention and that, now women are going to start doing their thing. I think they put the time in. I think this is a great thing. Did you agree with her being the first overall pick?
I mean, as far as what I know, yeah. I couldn't make an argument for anybody else because, transcendent player, the media attention, the following she already has. I mean, that's adding a lot. But I do want to say this, though. We tend to discuss the WNBA as if it's a failure because the players weren't good. And the reality of it was, we can go back to the Dawn Staley, Lisa Leslie rollout where they were on primetime TV shows, making guest appearances. And, you remember the ads were everywhere about the Olympic team and getting ready for the WNBA. We got next, all that stuff. But the culprit was venture capital. We had venture capitalist groups come in and decide, hey, this thing can make a lot of money. This is what you should do. And they overexpanded the league until the point to where they had to later contract and close down some of those franchises. But that was because of the dumb money that came into it early and misspent the money and ruined everything. They had a competing league to go against as well. You remember the ABL? But people tend to present the stories that the players were the problem when that was the problem. And then the other part, of course, natural progression, because once these leagues start off, it's always like that. Hell, the NBA had tape-delayed NBA finals in '79. The NFL for years, late 80s, early 90s, they were having trouble. They weren't this gigantic monolith that we see now. So some of the stuff was just time. It was going to take time for it to kind of get where it needed to go.
Yeah, exactly. Things take time. And not only that, you don't want to expand the league, like you mentioned, too quickly. And that's one of the downfalls, is that you make it harder when you expand the league. It makes it harder for the teams to sell out. You need more workers, and the talent usually gets watered down a little bit. So it takes time to build a league. I love what they're doing now. They're starting to create a lot of headway. I definitely do think, because she's going to be big following Indy, I think Indy made the right pick by drafting her first.
Yeah, like I said, I can't disagree, but, I just know it. I know as much as the average fan about the WNBA and women's basketball. So I can't present myself like I know it like the back of my hand, like the NBA or the NFL. So, yeah, as far as I know, that was the pick to make. Like, no problem with it. And we got to talk about what the catalyst for all this was. It was the game against LSU, and it set us up for a rematch this year. Like, you don't usually get things like that in sports. So for us to get that to where they play in the championship game, and then the next year they against each other, and I think, was it Elite Eight or Final Four?
Yeah.
And you got race as the thing driving it, where you got this, this white kid who is so exceptionally good and amazing that people are shocked, and she's against this black girl who represents everything some of these people don't like. So you had all the emotion there. You know what I mean? Like, this was an event, 2 years, those teams against each other. And because of that, the following that Reese is going to enjoy in Chicago with Cardoso from South Carolina, like, that's going to be a big thing as well.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the stars lined up just right. And you hate to see race be the thing that drives people's interest, but it clearly was what it was here. Like you said, you have a girl who is kind of reminds me like a Larry Bird in his prime, the female version of Larry Bird, and they're going against Magic. We all know what that's about, and unfortunately, that's what happened with this situation here. She won it, got the championship, so that kind of fueled it. Then the next year they rematch, and they lost in the playoffs, but ultimately she didn't make it. She didn't win 2 rings,
Right.
She fought against.
Caitlin beats her by scoring 40 in a game and closes them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an ultimate Rocky story. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Look, they're boxing promoters right now on their hands and knees praying for somebody to send them a white American heavyweight. You know what I mean? and there's no knock against those promoters. It's just they know what sells. It's America. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, you're right. This is what sells, and you hate to see that's what it is, but we all know that's what it is. It's you have, like you said, Caitlin Clark is outstanding, and then she's facing it against the showboating girl. I actually think Caitlin Clark fundamentally is a better player. I definitely do think her competitor definitely gets a lot of praise and stuff, but I just think fundamentally Caitlin Clark is actually really solid.
Yeah, I don't think people are comparing them one for one. Did you see how far Angel went in the draft? What was it, like 7 or something like that?
Yes, 7.
Yeah, she's way down the But I mean, that's still lottery, so it's a great accomplishment. But it's not the same as Caitlin Clark. Where Angel, you're asking her to come in and rebound and kind of rim run and be a big who gets most of her points off putbacks and things like that. Where with Caitlin, you're asking her to come in and put on a show. So it's different.
Exactly, it is different, but it's gonna be exciting. I'm glad. I'm happy for women's basketball. I really am. I think it's great. I don't think they should compare themselves to the men as far as salary. It's just they're not there yet. It's not that I don't think they deserve to get paid, and Caitlin Clark is going to get paid. She is getting paid. You know what I mean? NIL deal, the endorsements. She don't have to worry about her salary too much, but she just got to stay healthy and keep doing her thing.
Yeah, I think they got a new CBA coming in like 2 years. So who knows how much more money they'll be making by then. But, yeah, this is, slow progress, man. Bill Russell and company didn't ride those trains and eat at people's homes that were in the Green Book because they were making so much money from the NBA at the time. They didn't have it early on. It took time to build it up. And then generationally, eventually, you'll have, the group of girls who come in and benefit because they're going to walk into $1 million salaries someday. But, that's not today.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not today. It's maybe in the future. Salaries going up, but it's still a great thing. She's getting paid. She got that NIL deal, sponsorships. She's getting paid. And like you said, it doesn't happen overnight, but I think it's progressing in that direction where the women are going to start getting paid a lot more. That's for sure.
Yeah, and look, if we're being honest, think about what it's to buy an NBA team or an NFL team. Most, even somewhat wealthy black people are priced out just because of the cost of the teams. Like if you got a couple $100 million, are you really gonna risk everything you got to buy a sports franchise? For the most part, no. But if these people start looking towards the WNBA, this might be the time to actually invest in something that later on is really going to pay off in a way to where, like, you think about what the Mara family paid for the Giants or what the Rooneys paid for the Steelers way back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, you have to have some deep pockets, like you said, to be an owner. You almost have to be a billionaire coming into it because, like you said, becoming an owner is an expense to you. At least initially, you have to pay everything. You're just scratching a lot of checks. Everything is coming out of your pocket. Now, as time goes on and you get more sponsors, more fans, then you start to reap the benefits. But initially, yeah, it's a big expense for you. It's not as glamorous as you think.
Yeah, and on that note, let me add this. Congratulations to the fans of Kansas City and the state of Kansas for telling the owner of the Chiefs, just because you got Mahomes and you're winning, that doesn't mean you get to hold them up by their ankles and run their pockets dry. Like, shout out to the people in that state who decided that's enough. You're not gonna charge us for another private entity where we pay the cost of taxpayers and you collect the money as the owner. Shout out to them because I'm in Atlanta and we just rolled over, man. We gave Arthur Blank everything he wanted for a new stadium.
You're right. Props to them. That's right. And yes, especially being that it's the Kansas City Chiefs, a very successful franchise, especially recently, Kansas City Chiefs are, they doing big things. Not only that, especially now they're hot. And for the fans to stand up to them, you're right. And say, hey, you're not going to run us dry. And I got a lot of respect for Arthur Blank, but you're right. The fans do have a voice. The fans have a voice.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that to condemn Blank. He does his nonprofit stuff in Atlanta. That's to be respected. He took concerns into play as far as price of concessions and parking and things. Like, he definitely did work with the fans. But that doesn't mean that he didn't take that other hand and put it in your pocket and get a nice tax bailout.
Yeah,
like that happened.
These guys are billionaires for a reason. They know how to play the tax game. They know all of these little things that most people don't know, they know about because they have friends in the right places. A lot of times in life, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's one thing that our people, that's a great point you made. that's one thing that I wish our people would get on board. You can get to that promised land if you're willing to help out another brother. Stop. Rich people stick together. Rich white guys stick together. That's what they do. That's how they get billionaires, multi-billionaires. They stick together. Hey, man, you should call this guy. He's a great accountant. Hey, man, you need to call this guy. He knows how to do this. They stick together. That's what we need to do as a people.
Yeah, agreed. And just for like a cherry on the Sunday on this, the story of Matt Ishbia and Dan Gilbert. So Matt Ishbia is the owner of the Phoenix Suns now. Made his money in housing from his father, and he and Dan Gilbert are competing for the same houses. They both have mortgage brokerage companies. They don't like each other. I guess that's putting it mildly. So when Ishbia was going to become an owner for the Suns, the rest of the owners or governors, as Adam Silver likes to call it, they have to all vote on it. So he got a unanimous vote of everyone except for one person who decided they would not vote, which was Dan Gilbert, who hates that man's guts. But he doesn't hate that man's guts to the point of where he was going to stop the sale or rally up a bunch of other owners to block him from buying the team. He still, knew, okay, it's important that this money comes in, and I want this, this league to prosper, which is going to make me prosper. So I'm not going to fight him on being an owner, even though I can't stand him. I hate his guts. I'll just sit out the vote. But he did, So that goes to your point.
Exactly. Like, you know what? That's why they get ahead, is because they don't make emotional decisions. They always are thinking about how is this going to benefit me financially, and they will kind of concede their hate or dishate to go ahead and make it to that next level. And that's where we're different. Whereas us, we sometimes are too proud. We'll let our pride cost us $1 billion. The other people, they're not going to do that. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah, and I'll just say this for the black wealthy class. So I will say this: if you've done what you've had to do to become a black wealthy person in America, you've done some amazing things. So to be risk averse after that and be scared to spend that much money on a football or basketball franchise, I think it's completely understandable. Which is why it's so hard. Because, hell, Adam Silver and Roger Goodell, they want some minority ownership in their league. It's just the problem is the asking price. There's not many black people who are so wealthy when they can just go in there and write a check and to worry about it. Like, it's just not many of us that have that kind of wealth. Hell, Ballmer slammed the checkbook down and made Oprah have to get out of the Clippers by his, So it's a different thing.
Exactly. That money, it don't grow in trees. You're right about that. Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I know you got to do your show, man. I just wanted to call in, man. Salute to you for holding it down. Much respect. And good luck with the rest of the football season.
I appreciate that. Thank you. The UFL, and I appreciate that. Got a lot of things going on with the UFL, and I appreciate it's going to be a great season.
Indeed. Well,
I appreciate
you have a good weekend.
You do the same. I appreciate you. Yep. Thank you so much for calling in. You have a fantastic weekend. Always fantastic to hear from you. Don't be a stranger.
Man. Bye.
You're welcome. Take care now. Always awesome here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk show. So it's fantastic to hear from people, and definitely want to thank Lou, Diane, and my man right there at the end. So that's awesome, and it's fantastic. I did want to also thank you guys for watching another great episode of the Allen Alfred Sports Talk show. We get into these talks. Sometimes we go a little over. No problem. Because, hey, that's what we're here for it on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk show, is to entertain you. And to close out the show, I wanted to go ahead and thank Sam Scola. Sam Scola Songs there. That's right. Thank you, songwriter Sam Scola Songs and wife Mary. Thank you. All of Sam Scola songs are available on YouTube and Spotify.
And if you want to reach Sam, there he is. singalongwithsam@gmail.com. singalongwithsam@gmail.com. And we're going to go ahead and close out the show with our fantastic sponsor, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Feel free to visit Chef G's right over here at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Again, that's 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. You can visit him at flbbqsauce.com. Again, that's flbbqsauce.com. Always great, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. So we're going to close out with that song there by Sam Scola, the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song, right now on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show.
Johnson for variety, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida gold honey mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak chips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. FD's Florida on FD's Florida. Florida barbecue sauce, Florida barbecue sauce.
So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget to check out Chef G's right there at flbbqsauce.com. It's flbbqsauce.com, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. So definitely thank you guys for another wonderful episode of the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. It's always a pleasure doing this here with you guys. Thank you so much, Sam Scola. And thank you. You can always reach Sam Scola songs on YouTube. Sam Scola songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. Again, that email is singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Thank you, songwriter Sam Scola Songs and wife Mary. Thank you so much for watching another great episode of the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. Hope you all have a blessed and a wonderful weekend. Take care. And I'm going to end the show with another Sam Scola song. That's the end of the show song. Thank you again. Be blessed, be well. Until we talk again, take care for now.
It's the end of the show. Let's thank all the fans before we go. It's the end of the show. Allen Sports Talk Radio. Yes, oh, yes. It's the end of the show. For next week's show. It's the end of the show.